I never thought I'd be the kind of person to do something like this, but I guess everybody has their breaking point. For most of my career, I played the part of the loyal employee. The one who worked late without asking for overtime, who stayed quiet when managers took credit for my work, who brought donuts to the office on Fridays just to keep morale up. I didn't think of myself as a pushover. I just thought I was being professional. I told myself that eventually hard work and patience would pay off. That was before the CEO's son waltzed into our company, like he owned the place, and reminded me how unfair the world really is. I'd been with this company for 14 years. 14 years of building processes, managing clients, cleaning up disasters left behind by clueless execs. I knew the business inside and out. I'd been passed over for promotions more times than I could count, but I stuck around because I had a mortgage, kids to put through school, and I genuinely believed this company had potential. The CEO, let's call him Harold, was a typical old-school businessman. Blunt, often dismissive, but I could at least respect the fact that he built the company from the ground up. Then came his son, Tyler. Tyler was everything you think of when you imagine the worst kind of nepotism. He had no real experience, no interest in learning, and no filter. He made crude jokes in meetings, talked down to employees who had been there longer than he had been alive, and treated the office like his personal playground. The first time he was introduced, he came in wearing sunglasses indoors and clapped his hands like he was walking onto a stage. "Let's shake things up," he said. Everyone laughed nervously. I remember just sitting there thinking, God help us all. At first, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just needed time to adjust. Maybe he'd mature once he realized this wasn't a college frat house. But weeks turned into months, and it became clear that not only was he not improving, but Harold was enabling him. Every time Tyler messed up, Harold would cover for him or worse, pin it on someone else. That someone else often ended up being me. The breaking point came during a client presentation. I had spent weeks preparing the pitch, building the deck, rehearsing every answer. Tyler insisted he wanted to take the lead because he said he had a natural gift for persuasion. Against my better judgment, I let him. Halfway through, he completely froze. He forgot the numbers, stumbled over his words, and ended up making a joke that offended the client. The meeting was a disaster. The next day, Harold called me into his office and told me I had embarrassed the company by not properly preparing his son. I walked out of that meeting shaking with anger. Years of swallowing frustration boiled over. That's when I remembered something. Back when I was first hired, I was given a copy of the company bylaws and employee contracts. I'm the type who actually reads the fine print. Buried in those documents was a clause about performance accountability for executives. Basically, if an executive caused financial damage through negligence, they could be held personally responsible. It was something Harold put in place decades ago to protect the company from reckless hires. Everyone had forgotten about it, but I hadn't. I started keeping records. Every mistake Tyler made, every deal he jeopardized, every time I had to clean up after him. I saved emails, meeting notes, even Slack messages. I kept it quiet, never letting on that I was building a case. Months went by and my file grew thicker. The final straw came when Tyler authorized a deal without reading the contract. It cost the company a 7-figure loss. He tried to blame me again, but this time I was ready. I went to the board. Not Harold, not HR, the board. I laid everything out. The documentation, the clause, the pattern of negligence. I was calm, professional, and thorough. At first they looked skeptical, but as the evidence piled up, the room got quiet. I could see the shift happening. They realized this wasn't just about one bad decision, it was about a liability who could sink the company. The fallout was swift. Harold tried to protect his son, but the clause was ironclad. Tyler was forced to step down, and because of the damages, he lost a significant chunk of his own trust fund. Harold's reputation took a hit too, but he couldn't publicly fight it without exposing his own hypocrisy. For the first time in months, I walked into the office without a knot in my stomach. People started treating me differently after that. Some saw me as a hero, others as someone dangerous to cross. I won't lie, part of me enjoyed the respect, even the fear. After years of being overlooked, It felt good to be the one holding the cards.
But it also changed me.
I realized how fragile loyalty is in the corporate world. I gave 14 years of my life believing hard work would speak for itself. In the end, it wasn't my work that saved me. It was knowing how to play the system better than the people who thought they were untouchable. Sometimes I wonder if I went too far. Tyler was awful, yes, but he's still a human being who now has to live with the stain of failure. Then I remember the look on Harold's face when he realized his own clause, the one he wrote to protect his empire, was what brought his son down. It wasn't me who destroyed them. It was their own arrogance. I just held up the mirror. Do I regret it?
No.
I regret staying silent for so long, letting people like Tyler walk all over me and everyone else. But I don't regret finally standing up. For once in my career, I wasn't the one cleaning up someone else's mess. I was the one drawing the line. And honestly, it feels damn good.